Right now, while you're watching this, there's a good chance your blood sugar is higher than it should be. Not because you're sick, not because you ate a candy bar an hour ago, just because of how you slept last night, how stressed you've been this week, or how much you've been sitting down today. And the wild part is, you probably feel completely normal. No symptoms, no warning signs, just quietly running hotter than your body wants to. Stick with me for the next few minutes because by the end of this video, I'm going to answer a question a lot of people ask me. Can you actually lower your blood sugar in 24 hours? The answer might surprise you, and it's not what most health channels tell you. Hey, welcome back to Body Decoded, the channel where we break down what's really happening inside your body without the confusing medical jargon and without the fear-mongering. If this is your first time here, or even if it's your 10th, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now before you get distracted because we're covering the stuff your doctor doesn't have time to explain in a 15-minute appointment, and I promise it's worth sticking around for. Today, we're talking about blood sugar. Not just diabetes, not just the scary stuff you see in commercials, but the everyday, sneaky version of high blood sugar that millions of people are walking around with and don't even know it. Here's the thing most people don't realize. You don't need to have diabetes to have a blood sugar problem. You don't even need to be overweight. You could be someone who exercises 3 times a week, eats what you'd call a pretty normal diet, and still be dealing with blood sugar swings that are quietly wearing down your energy, your mood, and your long-term health. Think about the last time you crashed hard in the middle of the afternoon. That heavy, foggy feeling where you could barely keep your eyes open at your desk, or the moment right after lunch when all you wanted to do was lay down. A lot of people brush that off as being tired from work or not sleeping enough or just getting older, but a huge chunk of the time, that crash is your blood sugar spiking and then dropping and your body reacting to that roller coaster. The scary part isn't the crash itself. It's what happens over months and years when this becomes your normal. When your blood sugar spikes again and again, day after day, your body has to release more and more insulin to deal with it. Over time, your cells can start to ignore that insulin, kind of like how you stop noticing a noise that's been playing in the background for too long. Doctors call this insulin resistance, and it's often the quiet first step toward much bigger problems down the road. The tricky part is that this process can go on for years without a single obvious symptom. No pain, no dramatic moment where your body waves a red flag. Just small things that are easy to explain away. Feeling tired after meals, craving something sweet an hour after you just ate, feeling thirstier than usual, needing to use the bathroom more at night, gaining a little weight around your midsection even though nothing else changed, struggling to focus in the afternoon. Individually, none of these feel like a big deal, but put them together over a long stretch of time, and they start to paint a picture. And here's something that catches a lot of people off guard. You can get your blood work done, get a fasting glucose number that looks fine, and still be dealing with blood sugar spikes that never show up on that one snapshot in time. A fasting number taken first thing in the morning tells you how your body handled things overnight. It doesn't tell you what happened at 2 in the afternoon after you had a big bowl of pasta, or what your blood sugar looked like during that stretch where you were stuck in back-to-back meetings and skipped lunch entirely. This is why so many people walk out of a doctor's office feeling reassured, when the full picture is actually more complicated than one lab result can show. So let's talk about why this happens in the first place. Because it's not just about sugar and carbs like most people assume. Yes, diet plays a role, obviously, but there are several other everyday factors that quietly push your blood sugar higher, and most of them have nothing to do with what's on your plate. Let's start with sleep. When you don't get enough quality sleep, or your sleep is broken up and restless, your body responds almost like it's under attack. It releases more stress hormones to keep you alert and functioning, and those same hormones tell your liver to release extra glucose into your bloodstream to give you energy to deal with whatever threat it thinks is happening. Except there's no threat. You're just tired from staying up late, scrolling on your phone, or waking up at 3 in the morning and staring at the ceiling. Your body doesn't know the difference between a stressful situation and a bad night's sleep. It reacts the same way, and that means higher blood sugar the next day, even if you eat exactly the same meals you always eat. Then there's stress itself, the everyday kind. Traffic on the way to work, a tense conversation with your boss, bills piling up, worrying about your kids. None of that seems related to blood sugar on the surface, but your body treats chronic stress almost like a slow, ongoing threat. It keeps a steady stream of stress hormones flowing, and those hormones keep telling your liver to pump out glucose so you're ready to react. In the short term, that's actually a smart survival mechanism. It's what kept our ancestors alive when they needed a quick burst of energy to run from danger. The problem is, most of us aren't running from anything. We're sitting in an office chair, or stuck in traffic, or lying awake worrying, and all that extra sugar just sits in our bloodstream with nowhere useful to go. And that brings us to the third big factor, which is inactivity. Your muscles are actually one of the best tools your body has for clearing sugar out of your bloodstream. When your muscles are working, they pull glucose out of your blood and use it for fuel, almost like a sponge soaking up extra liquid. But when you're sitting for hours at a time, whether that's at a desk, on the couch, or in a car, your muscles aren't asking for that fuel, so the sugar just lingers in your blood longer than it should. This is part of why so many people notice their energy tanking in the afternoon if they've been sitting all day. It's not laziness, it's biology. Your body is dealing with a traffic jam of sugar that has nowhere to go. What's interesting is how these three things feed into each other. Poor sleep raises stress hormones. High stress makes it harder to fall asleep. Both of those make you more tired, which makes you less likely to move your body, which means your muscles aren't clearing out that extra sugar. It becomes a cycle, and most people don't even realize they're stuck in it because each piece feels small and disconnected on its own. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because this is where we get to answer that question from the beginning of the video. Can you actually lower your blood sugar in 24 hours? The truth is, your body responds to changes faster than most people think. Blood sugar isn't like body fat, where changes take weeks or months to show up. It's dynamic. It shifts throughout the day based on what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and how stressed you are. That means the choices you make today can genuinely change how your blood sugar behaves tomorrow. Let's walk through 3 things you can start doing right now, today, that can make a real difference. And I want you to really pay attention here because this is the part that actually matters. The first thing is what you do in the first 10 minutes after you eat. Most people finish a meal and immediately sit back down, whether that's at their desk or on the couch. But if you take just a short walk after eating, even something as simple as 10 minutes around the block or up and down your stairs, you're giving your muscles a job to do right when your blood sugar is starting to rise. Remember what we talked about earlier. Muscles pull sugar out of your bloodstream when they're active. So instead of that sugar spiking up and sitting there, your body has somewhere productive to send it. This one habit alone, walking for just a few minutes after a meal, has been shown in real-world observations to blunt the size of that after-meal spike. You don't need a gym. You don't need special equipment. You just need to move your legs for a few minutes right after you eat instead of immediately sitting still. The second strategy is about the order you eat your food in, not just what you eat. A lot of people eat their meal starting with the most carb-heavy part first, like bread, rice, or pasta, and save the vegetables and protein for later if they eat them at all. But flipping that order can make a real difference. If you eat your vegetables and protein first and save the carbohydrates for last, your body absorbs that sugar more slowly and gradually instead of all at once. Think of it like pouring water through a filter instead of dumping it straight down the drain. The filter slows things down and smooths out the flow. Fiber and protein act as that filter for your blood sugar. So next time you sit down for a meal, try starting with the salad, the vegetables, or the chicken, and finish with the rice or the bread. Same meal, same calories, but a completely different response from your body. The third strategy is about your sleep tonight, specifically tonight, not someday in the future. One night of genuinely good sleep, 7 to 8 hours of real, uninterrupted rest can measurably improve how your body handles sugar the very next day. This means putting your phone down earlier than you normally would. It means keeping your room cool and dark. It means not scrolling through your feed while lying in bed, telling yourself you'll put it down in 5 minutes. I know that sounds simple, almost too simple to matter, but your body genuinely treats a bad night of sleep as a stressor, and that stressor drives your blood sugar up the next day, regardless of what you eat. One good night of sleep won't fix everything long term, but it can absolutely shift how your body responds tomorrow. And that's a real, tangible, 24-hour change you can make starting tonight. So if you put those three things together, a short walk after eating, flipping the order of your meal so vegetables and protein come first, and prioritizing real sleep tonight, you're not just hoping for some vague long-term improvement. You're actively working with how your body responds in real time. This isn't about waiting 6 months to see results on a lab test. This is about noticing that you feel less foggy tomorrow afternoon, that you don't crash as hard after lunch, that you wake up without that heavy, groggy feeling. These are the signals your body gives you when things are actually working, long before any blood test would show it. I also want to be honest with you about something, because this channel isn't about scaring you into thinking you're sick. Most people who are dealing with these ups and downs in blood sugar are not diabetic. They're not even close to it. They're just normal people living normal, busy lives, and their bodies are responding to modern stress, modern sleep habits, and modern sitting habits in a very predictable way. The good news buried inside all of this is that because these causes are so tied to everyday habits, the fixes are also incredibly accessible. You don't need a prescription to take a walk after dinner. You don't need a specialist to eat your vegetables before your rice. You don't need permission to go to bed 20 minutes earlier tonight. These are things you can start doing the moment this video ends. What I really want you to take away from this is that high blood sugar isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with a dramatic diagnosis or a scary doctor's visit. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like being tired at 3 in the afternoon or craving something sweet after dinner, even though you're not actually hungry, or waking up in the middle of the night for no clear reason. Your body has been trying to talk to you this whole time. It's just been speaking in a language most of us were never taught to understand. And that's exactly why we made this video, because once you know what to listen for, you can actually do something about it, starting today. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you, because your experience matters just as much as anything I've shared in this video. Have you noticed that afternoon crash we talked about? Have you tried walking after meals or changing the order you eat your food and noticed a difference in how you feel? Drop a comment below and tell me what your energy usually looks like throughout the day, because I read every single one. And honestly, some of the best insights on this channel come from what you all share down there. If this video actually helped you understand your body a little better today, do me a huge favor and share it with someone in your life who's been dealing with that constant afternoon crash, or who's been told their blood sugar is borderline but doesn't really know what that means or what to do about it. You could genuinely be the reason someone makes a small change today that adds up to something bigger down the road. And if you're new here, subscribe to Body Decoded, because we're breaking down exactly how your body works, one topic at a time, without the confusing jargon and without the scare tactics you see everywhere else. I've got another video coming up on healthy eating that pairs perfectly with everything we talked about today, so go check that out next. Thanks for watching, take care of that body of yours, and I'll see you in the next one.